And we are live. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Beyond the 90. We've got Ant with us. We're back doing the previews, doing the press conference review. We didn't do it last time, but we are doing it this time. And we are joined by another person just as we're starting. JT's here. JT's here and ready to go. First of all, JT, how are you doing, mate?
I'm doing pretty well. How about yourself?
Yeah, doing well. I've just been busy introducing. We'll go for Ant as well. I've just completely overlooked him. Ant, how are you doing, man?
All good, mate. All good.
Yes.
Yeah, you know.
Right. Well, let's get again. We're going to be covering a little bit. The press conference came over yesterday. A load of the the drama that's been going on over the last 2 weeks has been about everything. Leicester City, pretty much. We'll get into all of that. We'll go into some of the injuries or the updates and all these kind of things. But we'll start off with the main thing I think we're talking about at the moment. We'll look at some of the useless rumors that are coming up soon. But in terms of injuries, JT Tielemans is out. That's going to be a massive miss for him, for us. We're going to be honest. But yeah, that against Chelsea, his first game, it's gonna be quite hard to recover from, right?
Yeah, so that's not exactly what you're looking forward to coming out from the international break when you're hoping people might even your squad might get healthier, and this happens and just makes you feel like Jurgen Klopp hating the international break, like he said today in his press conference. But I guess the good news is I think they said it's fairly short term, should only be a few weeks to a month, and he'll be right back before that tough Christmas period of Liverpool twice and Man City in a week. So I guess we can look forward to that, fingers crossed. But not what you're looking forward to hearing from international break time.
It's really not. And obviously he's not traveled, so he's been staying home. I don't think it's a massive injury. However, these things can creep up. And we know he's going to be a massive miss for us, but especially now, I know there's rumors of him potentially leaving, and he's been honest and open and said, well, we'll see what happens, which kind of means, okay, if I'm not going to sign a new contract, we'll see what happens. But this is a good opportunity for certain players to step up in that position, isn't it?
It is, and it's a different dynamic because I think it might be Soumaré and Ndidi in that pivot tomorrow would be my prediction. It's a different role for Soumaré to play alongside Tielemans compared to alongside Ndidi. So it'll be interesting to see how they get on. It's obviously a huge test against an incredible Chelsea team, but it could really be someone's time to really stand up and be counted for and put in a proper good performance. So yeah, it's frustrating Tielemans has got the injury that he has. We've been screaming out for him to have a break for about the last 2 months. Not quite what we had in mind, if we're honest. But
and hopefully not for 2 months as well.
Yeah, that's it. But I'm not going to sit here and act like a victim because every club's got players that are injured from the international duties. Despite what certain managers say, it's not only their club that's affected. But it's an opportunity for some players to really stand up now.
Yeah, we'll have to see. And one of the players potentially could be JT Kiernan Dewsbury Hall. As he's come on, he's looked pretty good. I mean, he's still got time to develop. He's still young. Could he be a player that fills in? Obviously, with players like Yuri, it's going to be massive boots to fill, but it is an option potentially.
Yeah, I'd say based on his, championship performance last year, you would say he's more of the like for like than Soumaré. But that'd be a lot to expect from him to come in and play, considering Yuri plays 90 minutes, game in, game out, consistent, good performer every single time. That'd be hard to expect somebody that just stepped up from Luton last year, although he does look promising and he looks like he could fill those boots long term. I think this is probably where you're expecting to see how much you really got for paying for Soumaré over the summer. We've seen what he can do alongside Tielemans, as Ant was saying, but we haven't seen him alongside Ndidi. Maybe we'll get to see him go forward a little bit more. He's been amazing in the Europa League, and let's hope he can keep that form up and look like that ball retention, physical presence that can even carry the ball forward at times, which he was known for coming in. So.
Yeah, and that's something that we're going to have to, again, coming up against their midfield, again, a little bit into Chelsea, that Kovacic is out, but probably they're going to look like they're going to play Kante and Jorginho as the two, and it's going to be a tough old battle that for whoever's in that midfield. Even though with Ndidi back, it's still going to be a tough old battle.
Yeah, it is. And you say Kovacic is out, but Chelsea are one of those teams. One world-class player drops out, another comes in because of the depth they've got. It's ridiculous. I think I think he's such an underrated player. He's not like that big physical midfielder that's going to do stuff, but he's so intelligent in terms of on the ball, finding the passes, being in the right position at the right time. So it would be a real test, and it would have been for Tielemans, don't get me wrong. So I think if Samare and Ndidi can get the upper hand, though, in that midfield area, it could provide a huge platform for us, which is why I think it's key for both of those. If they have a good game tomorrow, I think that's the way that we can get something from the game.
Yeah, because I agree, and the thing is, anything can happen with Leicester City. We can turn up, we can play terribly. It's just we don't actually know what's happening. But in terms of them, obviously we've got James Justin out. Hopefully, I think they've announced that he's coming back into the under-23s. JT, it's felt like an age since he's played for Leicester City, and obviously we want him to have a speedy recovery, take his time. We're not going to try and force him in. We're just going to take his time, play for the under-23s. We've kind of been teasing it for a while, but finally it's happening. I mean, it's just good to see him hopefully get back on the pitch.
Yeah, it just seems like years ago, but the last memory I have of him is him hitting that worldie in the FA Cup. And I know he played a few more games after that, but I just keep going back to that and reminding myself of the good old days of him instead of having Bertrand or a little bit green Luke Thomas over there on the left. So I'm looking forward to him coming back. Hopefully we take our time with it and we don't try to overdo it like we have kind of seen in the past when we're trying to get people back from injuries. But hopefully we can do it properly and he can come back without any bumps in the road.
Let's see. Let's hope so. But again, and in terms of obviously James Justin is a good sign again. But another person, obviously Wes Fofana, he looks like he's going to come back probably in the new year. He's still out for a while, but from what we see, and everybody's getting excited from seeing it on social media as well, that he's training. I think he's doing all the right things to excite the Leicester fans, apart from his comments recently, which again just been blowing up Twitter. What are your thoughts on all of the stuff Wes Fofana recently?
With Fofana, I don't like the fact that he named specific clubs, but apart from that, like specific clubs in the same domestic league. But apart from that, there's nothing wrong with having the ambition to go and play at the very top level. And we've seen it in the last year, and obviously, like when he is playing, he is one of the brightest prospects in terms of the centre back in the Premier League, or you could even argue across Europe. So the fact that he's got that ambition to go on to the next level, like fair play to him. We saw the way that he left St Etienne. He's clearly got a bit about him. And like, if we're going to be completely honest, when he signed, we never expected him to be here for his entire career. I'd think the comments probably, like as I said before, naming the clubs a little bit naive. Mm-hmm. But like, I'd rather have a player who's got that ambition to go on and really achieve something than someone who's just happy to pick up a paycheck each week and is not really that asked for what happens. So for me, I don't mind it. It's like, it shows he's got some ambition, and it shows that we've got some players with that right mentality of wanting to kick on to the next level.
Yeah, and hopefully, and we've got that. And again, I think it's been just a quiet in general for everybody in terms of an international break, hence why any little story's just gone straight up, and it's literally like the house has been set on fire. Another one as well, JT, has been Kasper Schmeichel. He made some comments, goes, I want to play, I would like to go back, I'm coming towards my end of my career, I'd like to play Champions League football. At not one stage did he say that he wants to leave Leicester City. However, the media's picked that narrative and decided to run with it. And again, do you think the same thing as Ant? Again, he's obviously a bit older. He's been with Leicester City a long time. He really appreciates the owners and stuff like that as well. But again, what were your thoughts on the whole situation there?
Yeah, I don't really see much in that either. I don't really see much wrong with it. He's a club legend. Let's have it right. Yeah, he's given everything for this club that we could have ever dreamed for. I wouldn't want to have another keeper, I don't think, in the world to have had play for this club for as long as he has. him coming out and saying it is kind of he's not usually the most like vocal in the media. I don't feel like ever since I've been following Leicester, even though he is the captain. So it's a little bit strange to see him say something like that. But ultimately, I don't really see him having that ambition as seeing it being too wrong. Like, who doesn't want to play at the top level? Tielemans is doing saying the same things. So
yeah, I can see that as well. So it's it will get there, I think, in time, but it's just because I think and there's just not a lot happening. So everything small, everybody just wants to blow it up because let's face it, in terms of international football, I think we know we don't, even people from Sport England is like, we're not really bothered. So any little bit about the club probably gets the attention even more.
Yeah, probably, and obviously the fact England played San Marino and Albania probably didn't help the fact that like people couldn't care less about international football. The thing with Schmeichel's comments I found a little bit strange is not the fact of like wanting to play Champions League football and stuff, but the fact he's having a horrid start to the season, which is why I thought sometimes, as you say, there's nothing wrong with having that ambition, but sometimes I think it's just poor timing with his current form to come out with a comment like that.
Yeah, I think so. I think so with this one as well. We will have to see. We will have to see in terms of what's happened. We'll get on to the final one. All Brighton's back in, but I don't think he's coming anywhere really near the first team, to be perfectly honest with you, especially with the way we're playing. We'll get on to a little bit of formation in a bit. But the main one, we've probably taken us 10 minutes to get into it. Brendan Rodgers linked away. And once again, this is, I think, the fourth one now officially. So Arsenal was the first when he got the new contract. Tottenham was in the summer. Newcastle of recent, and Man United. So they just keep rolling off the tongue, don't they, JT? And then Brendan Rodgers came out in the media, and just to get the correct quote up at the moment. Oh, I've just gone back on the page, damn it. 1 second. So I've huge respect for Kuntop and his father's legacy. I feel like we're in the right place, right time, with the right people. So I think he was annoyed again at the response from that. We can understand that we're not saying that Brendan Rodgers will never leave, as kind of Ant was saying, but at the same time, the fact that he's come out and said that has just put everybody's mind to rest a little bit for now.
Yeah, even when like those rumors have been going ever since Man U started going in their downward spiral, but it's never really been anything too official, I guess, until the international break. Not really big outlets saying it until recent, but yeah, I don't see him going anywhere, at least in the season. I wouldn't be surprised if he's going in 2 years. I've been thinking like once Pep leaves Man City, I think he could be top of their list possibly, or towards the top of their list, which that happens I think in 2023. And I wouldn't even blame him really. I'm not expecting him to be here forever. He's not going to be our Sir Alex Ferguson. I don't think he's not going to be here for 30 years or 20 years. But like you said, I mean, it's what you'd expect. The response you'd expect him to have is kind of shut it down, cool off the rumor a little bit. And again, I never really believed it was going to happen, at least until the end of the season anyway.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as you. And anything else kind of on that? This was a good funny one, made me laugh as well. Next week, the Man United in the media will probably link Beyond the 90 to the Man United fan channel. If there's enough money in it, mate. Not gonna lie, but no, we're fine over here. What do you think, Ant?
I think, like, what do you expect Brendan Rodgers to come out and say? He's hardly going to come out and say, I have been talking to Man United, and like, I'm just waiting for them to sack Ollie, and then I'll be out the door first opportunity. They're not going to come out and say that, but I think how strong he came out and was like, he killed it flat, which is the thing that I do like, but it was what I expected, but not as strong as I expected it to be, if that makes sense. Yeah,
no, I totally agree. And the way that it's disrespectful for this, and I was like, whoa, because Brendan Rodgers isn't normally, when it's something, the whole situation, for example, he's only come out and said things strongly a couple of times. Once was the Super League, he really went after them then. And the other one, I think that would as well, probably JT, after the whole situation there, he's probably left a little bit of sour taste in his mouth. Not to say he will never go, but he loves football, and that kind of thing I think really peeved him off.
Yeah, I think he'll end up going to a bigger club. I mean, he's probably, after what happened with like Liverpool, he's probably going to want to try and prove himself at so-called top level again, even though Leicester's pretty much next best thing to those big old clubs. But I think
and Tottenham.
Well, no, I don't think he has any interest in going there. But he at least wants, if he's going to a bigger club, I think he at least wants to have some leeway with some budget rather than Levy's tight pockets. But yeah, I think he's going to go. I've already settled on that. I just want him to leave in a fair way and not be causing a big dust up in the locker room or just derailing a season. And I don't think he's going to do that. I think he's a professional and he's going to do his job and he'll do it the right way.
Bang on there. And so you're going to say something after that?
Yeah, the thing is, like, you'd like to believe everything he said in the press conference, but one thing that concerns me, he said exactly the same 2 weeks before jumping ship at Celtic. So that does like play in the back of my mind slightly, but he's done it before, but I really don't think he'll do it again, because
I just think the level's different there. Even though the Celtic fans before were saying, why would you go to a small club like Leicester? I think the level's different.
Steven Gerrard!
The level of club is, but it's still Celtic's his boyhood club and all of that. It was still, like, as much as we love the fact he did come to Leicester and took the job on, it was, like, if we're being completely honest, it was very disrespectful the way that he left them in a bit of, like, I know they went on to win the title, but that was because of the work he'd already done. But now you look at the mess they're in. So that is my one fear, that if he does just jump ship all of a sudden, that it could leave us a little bit caught off guard, which you hope you wouldn't do, but it's just the fact he's got history for it.
The only way that happens, though, the thing is, the only time that's happened in terms of a manager that's at a club and they've paid him off was Marco Silva, I want to say, in Everton in recent times. There's kind of an under kind of rule that if a manager is at another club, there's kind of a rumour between them. Otherwise, there's massive, massive fines, like Everton had to find out with Marco Silva. They fired Ronald Koeman. If a manager is currently at a club, they have to leave him until the manager resigns. And I can't see him Brendan Rodgers resigning anytime soon.
No, I think he's got. I mean, I guess the Celtic history is kind of in the back of your head, but I just can't see him leaving this.
So.
What?
Unlikely so. Like, he's done it before. He's got a track record.
And like I wasn't. I'm not gonna lie and say that I was keeping up on his bond with the Celtic squad back in those days, but just the way that he seems like he gets on with this locker room, despite the rumors earlier this season where people were saying that everyone's turning on him or whatever the heck was going on. I think he's got too much connection, like you said, with the owners. It's such a family, and I just can't see him doing that to what he has consistently called his family. So,
no, I think sorry, Neil.
No, go for
last point. I think the thing being with it is, if it's all approached him the right way, and he can be brought out of his contract, or he has got that release clause if a top club does come in for them. But United seems so incompetent and like persistent that they want to keep Ollie for I don't know what reason. So I think it's like, I do think if the United job was there offered to him properly, he would take it. But United's just incompetence is keeping Ollie in a job, and it's absolutely like beautiful to watch.
I mean, yeah, we said before, you get a decade contract, that'd be beautiful for us. And one thing as well, with them, I think, again, this might just be something that I've heard of through the grapevine. I'm not sure, or I might have made it up. To be fair, I'm not sure. Brendan Rodgers will want to take the whole backroom staff with him. And I've got a feeling that they will want to keep, because Mike Carrick, because he played under Sir Alex Ferguson. Sir Alex Ferguson is still one of the top boys there, and top men there that kind of decides what's happening. he won't want to rip all of that out and replace him with somebody new, just because just as Ollie came in on his own to kind of be a yes man. And I think that's one of the reasons why he's there as well.
Wherever he goes, can he take his set piece coach with him?
Yeah, take his zonal marking with him, please.
It is painful. But I asked Lewis, and they're not too good at set pieces, and I'm like, that's good, but still doesn't give me that much confidence.
No one's worse than us at set pieces. It's like our little title, isn't it? It's like the thing we're good at is being shit at set pieces.
You don't almost pick it if you're at least scoring goals off them and you're bad in defense, but we don't score goals and we're horrible in defense. So there's no positive out of it.
At least we're consistent.
Yeah, but that's not consistent. That's like Norwich are consistent. That's what you're going to say this season.
I'm looking for positives, all right?
I'd almost rather than just kick it out for a goal kick every corner, and instead of opening us up for a break or something stupid, just that'll be worth it.
Get the Ghanaian excellence, just whack it up.
I'd love him to score tomorrow. You know that. Oh my God. I'd absolutely love it.
Leicester Twitter would be on fire if he scored. That video of him throwing that pennant would be everywhere.
Genuinely, about nothing would make me happier than seeing Daniel Martin score a late winner.
I'm surprised you haven't got him on your wall back there as well.
I've got a poster of it. I've got the poster. You know the match.
He's not got a poster, JT. He's got a shrine. He's got a shrine. And it's all good. I've got one in the back as well. Anyway, in terms of that, obviously for the 2 weeks, a lot of players apart from Tielemans and so on and so forth have been on international break. A few of them haven't, and Chelsea's pretty much entire team goes on international break. People like Vardy are going to be fine. You could bear in mind Thiago Silva went over to Brazil as well. So that's going to be him versus there. You got people like Barnes and Maddison that weren't called up for the squad, England squad, obviously. So this could be an opportunity for them really to thrive as well.
Yeah. As you said, like Chelsea's got a lot of people that went on break or whatever, and then also coming back from injuries. I think Timo Werner and just like I think he was just let back into the squad or something like that. Pulisic as well, which he played with the U.S. for a few minutes at First Mexico the other night. But and then they have I don't know what's going on with Mason Mount. I think he had some sort of like dental surgery or something. I don't know if he's supposed to be playing, but their whole squad pretty much goes everywhere across the world. So and I guess we really had like Daka and Ndidi and Iheanacho. I think that's for the main ones.
Johnny
Castagna. Evans too. Yeah.
We had Turkey. I think I didn't really. Oh no, Siunji did that. Saved didn't he off the goal line?
I think he was. I think he saved. I think he saved that game for them. Saved their chances of World Cup qualifying after I think kind of being a culprit in Montenegro's first goal. I think, but don't quote me on that. I believe he played a role in that. But yeah, I think we definitely should have the advantage rest wise because we don't have anybody going over to the Americas. We don't have anybody going over to like Asia or anything crazy. It was just everything was like on the continent pretty much, except for Daka and Iheanacho and Ndidi. And Daka probably won't play that much. Maybe he'll come on as a sub. Hopefully. I just don't see Brennan bringing him in for his first Premier League start against Chelsea. Just don't see that happening. But yeah, I think that we definitely have an advantage there.
Didn't Amati also play for Ghana? Because he made an absolute awful dive and block.
I forgot about that.
I don't know how to describe it. It's genuinely one of the worst dives I've ever seen in my life.
That got called for a penalty, didn't it? Or did it get?
I think it did. Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't think they have VAR, and I saw the ref point for a penalty, and they barely stayed in World Cup qualifying. I think by like the skin of their teeth. That penalty might have actually saved them. I'm not positive on that. But
Ghanaian excellence added again.
Hey, I'd be fine if you got one of those on Saturday. If I'm getting up at 7:30 in the morning over here, I want to see some Ghanaian excellence.
That's a long one. Jeez. Yeah, and you were saying before that. Anything?
No, just I was going to say something and it's gone out of my head, if I'm honest.
No worries, no problem. There was so in terms of that, I'm just looking at kind of obviously they've got Lukaku out, and I think JT with our defensive frailties and them set piece and things, I'm really glad about that one at least. And I know you're right because they've got 400 players lined up at the academy in there to take their place in kind of the striker position. However, he is a main vocal point for us, and I think that it's going to work a little bit into our hands. That at the minimum cancels out Tielemans' situation.
Yeah, Lukaku being out is huge. I think he just poses a threat in every way possible. Big, strong, fast, link-up plays, excellent too. Despite what people used to say about him at Man United, he's gotten a lot better since going to Italy. I think he's just phenomenal. But they still bring in Havertz and Werner and whatever. But it's just an embarrassment of riches over there in London. And we just got to try and match up the best. Hopefully Johnny Evans can keep Cag's head on straight and we can marshal a defense for once this season.
We say Marshall. We'll bubble gum it together, and then we'll see what happens. The formation that I've got, I don't know if you guys would agree with this. Kind of gone for a 3-5-2. Pereira on one side, Castagna if he's fit on the other. I don't think Pereira went as well, just because he's not on form. Wilfred Ndidi, Samare, Maddison, obviously Schmeichel in goal. Any other changes to that you think that will happen?
I think that'll be it, really. I think the only thing you might see is you might see it as the how sometimes he goes in the bigger teams with like the three more competitive midfielders. So you might see Chowdhury in for Maddison and sort of drop slightly deeper, and then play Vardy in that 10 role. Iheanacho in that 10 role behind Vardy. But I don't think he will. I think this will be it, but that's the only change that could potentially happen, but I don't see it.
I think I could see him doing that, like with the Chowdhury for Madison thing, possibly if we had Tielemans, I guess. But with the uncertainty of Samare going forward, I just don't see. I can't see him going that negative. I don't think. Might be wrong, but I don't see him going that negative.
No, I think when you said that, I was thinking, three central defensive midfielders. Like, oh my god, here we go, Clawpwell Part 2, and I was like, no, it can't be that bad. So the only other formation I can think, just quickly whip this one up. Let me try and get the right one on. I've got it there. So kind of we could do like take Nacho off at halftime or something, and then implement what we did last time with two wingers. So Lookman on the right, and then Barnes on the left. Again, Barnes is looking promising now, and that's the wrong way around. Wilfred Ndidi does not play on the wing, and these two are definitely the way around. Anyway, do this on the fly, guys. That's how we do it. But the thing is that midfield duo doesn't bring me much grief. I don't know what you guys think. That Samori and Ndidi as a double pivot, there's going to be a lot of space to try and make up there.
I think with whatever formation and whatever team we play, Ndidi will be Ndidi and Samori will be the starting players in that pivot. Like if you play the 4-2-3-1, they'll be the two. We play 3-5-2, they'll be the two. They'll be the two. Like you get the point. But I think we'll go 3-5-2 just to match up with what Chelsea do because it's very similar in terms of the way that they play. I can't see us going for this formation just because it's one we haven't played with before, and it's not the game to be testing out new sort of systems.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, now that matches are coming again, we've got 12 matches until the end of the year. There isn't really a lot of time in JT and generally for experiments. We just need to get our full team back and just get them right. You're back. I won't say, James Justin, you're back getting the team, but it's a little bit like that.
Yeah, I mean, have we done better in Europa League up to this point? You could see next Thursday being maybe a trial match, but we're not at that point because we're gonna have to work our butts off for qualification at this point. I don't want to be going to the conference league.
No,
so
about.
I'd rather just not have competition, to be honest. But so we are not in a point in the season to be experimenting especially not tomorrow. If we experiment and it goes wrong, you're probably looking at an ugly scoreline, and nobody wants to see that. If anything, I just want to see us go after it and try to come out with something, maybe come out with some positives off the international break. Definitely don't want to be starting off on a huge negative.
Yeah. And any thoughts?
No, I just,
Is that enough?
I think I do think tomorrow's team's almost a bit predictable, but it will be the 3-5-2. I think it's just who the personnel is within that system. And the thing is, what I do want to say is, if it's not working, I just really hope that he's proactive in changing it, not wait until the 60th minute until we're really chasing the game and it's too little, too late. So I'd say 3-5-2, but then if it's not working, be proactive in changing it and not.
Yeah, that's one thing that I spoke to Lewis about yesterday, and he was saying the exact same thing, that he's saying the opposite, that Thomas Tuchel is incredibly proactive. He'll take people off at halftime, change the formation, change it up, and they come out in the second half stronger, which is a bit worrying for us. But at the same time, it's like we kind of do the same. Over the period of time that Brendan Rodgers has been here, we've always come out second half a bit stronger. But apart from that, I mean, they're going to be a hard team. I think Amar's put a good point in terms of Reece James and obviously Ben Chilwell again on the wing. It's going to be, they're definitely going to push against us and trying to beat. So we're going to have to play Castagna and Ricardo just to try and keep them two quiet.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't think it should just be about keeping those two quiet. I think we've got to cause some problems as well. We've got to cause Chilwell and Reece James problems going the other way, because if it's just about keeping Chelsea quiet for full 90 minutes, they're going to have an absolutely field day. We've got to really try and get Chelsea turning their back and running towards their goal and really giving them stuff to think about, because we know that more than anyone, Chilwell, if you get him, and the crowd will be on his back tomorrow, and I think he'll be expecting that. We know that he can be got at, and mentally as well. He doesn't like it when the crowd aren't on side with him. So if we can get at Chilwell, I think you can get at him more than Reece James, then I really think that we could get a lot of success. But saying that, Chilwell and Reece James going forward, they can really cause some problems. Reece James has been absolutely phenomenal this season.
He's got many goals as Ronaldo and more assists.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
He's so good. He's insane. Having him and Trent and all those English right backs is just, Gareth Southgate just put a team of right backs out there and play.
We have all these right backs and we still start Trippier.
Welcome to the Bash English now. It's just one of those things where we could just do that for ages. Ant's holding his tongue.
I'm not going to say. I'm not turning this into a Southgate bashing session.
Apart from that, I think that's pretty much it in terms of Leicester City. I mean, we're gonna have to again. For those of you who don't know, I'll be on the Don Robbie show tomorrow, so that should be a good one, along with Lewis, who I did a preview with yesterday. So you want to check that out on the channel. In terms of post match, I'm going to try and see what's happening. I think we're going to do it on Sunday because I'll be in London, so I won't be here. I don't know if I'm going to try and sort it out after this. But if you enjoyed the show, make sure to like and subscribe. Follow JT over there. His logo in the description. Follow Ant's channel, everything. Link in the description, his Twitter and everything. And we'll see everybody in the next video. So goodbye.